What's up guys, Phantom here, back with episode 24 of my F1 2019 career mode as we are going to the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix for round 2 of season 2.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
As we start out here in Q2, as we easily made it through Q1, as we've come out here with about a minute left, as we are in a train about of 5 or 6 cars, as we're right behind Signs, which will give us some straight line speed down the straight, but we'll compromise this a little bit through the S's and through the middle sector here as we go through the last corner here as qualifying has ended. As we come across the line, activate DRS, and we will be P2, and as our teammate Butler is P4 as we move on to Q3 here. As this time we have Raikkonen, as we have less than a minute now for Q3, as we have not set a banker lap for either Q2 or Q3 here, as we're just making 2 straight runs back to back here. As unlike the Red Bull, the Alfa Romeo will not be as fast, which will definitely hold us up a little bit in the middle sector here, as we've definitely gained on Raikkonen here, which is really a good thing because that means we're faster than them, which we should be as we come across the line, which will be ended up in P6 as our teammate Butler sits on the front row with Hamilton, who sits on pole as we move on to the race.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Lucas Weber alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, a Haas, and Perez, Leclerc, Raikkonen, Sainz, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Norris, Butler, they've taken a grid penalty. Nico Hülkenberg and Verstappen, Russell, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, and Alexander Albon. Kubica and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
As we sit here in the grid in P5 because of Butler's penalty. I don't understand how you get a penalty when it's only 2 races in, but the lights are out and away we go as Leclerc gets a massive run onto us to the outside as we're going to go to the inside and brake a little bit late as Vettel just drags us around the corner as we get hit by Bottas there, it looks like, as he kind of hit us a little bit as Vettel's going to go down the inside of Weber there to take second in down the inside of Hamilton there, as he's going to try to take first from third place there, as he's not able to as the top three run Hamilton, Vettel, and Weber, as Bottas is going to take a run at us down the front straight here, as we go massively defensive, try to get him out of our toe, as we're going to force him to go around the outside at turn 1 there, as we move back towards the racing line, as he tries to hold around the outside, which will turn the inside, but he's not able to do it, as we keep our position. We get DRS crucially on Weber there down the side stretch, as now we're on the front stretch here on lap 4, as we made a little bit of a look there towards Weber, but we will have the DRS down this side stretch here, as we will go inside outside, as we want the outside so we don't get the squeeze by the AI, as he comes back down the inside there, as he pulls ahead of us, as we're going to be able to hold it around the outside and keep third position, as we are now on the podium here, as we're going to go into the pits to make our stop at the end of lap 5 here, make sure not to speed, as it's 50 miles an hour here, unlike Australia where it's 37. As we pull into the pits here, as we have a very clean pit stop 2.3, as the last cars here, the back markers passed us, as Giovinazzi has also stopped with us, which will mean we'll come out P19 out of 20, as the next lap we come across the line here and pass everybody, not everybody, but we'll pass Hamilton, crucially, who's been held up there, as he is around 2 to 3 seconds behind us. That's crucial, as we've jumped him into net P second, as we've easily gone past Bottas, as there is Vettel, who's looked like he's been held up a tiny bit as well, as Butler, our teammate, is out of the race, as you can see as you look here down the side stretch, as he has had a mechanical failure, it looks like, and will not finish the race.
Some information on Vettel. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Probably the best news we've had all race, as Vettel has issue, which means he will be slow, as Hamilton has just set the quickest lap of the race, which will make us want to hurry up and overtake him, as he's not making it easy though, even though we're going to have the outside here, and him with his mechanical issues, which will mean we'll easily overtake him around the outside, and with DRS he has no chance to come back at us. As Hamilton was closing in, he's about 1.5 seconds, but we will take our first win of the season.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
So another fantastic victory for Haas today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions, and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.